Globers in here tonight. Any of you guys want to speak up? Any evidence for the globe? We got AT in the house, Coco Bish, Hyper, I
They
believe.
huddle their way into the Flat Earth server and go, you guys are all idiots, right? Because that's what they're hoping to achieve, you know, embarrass them with their weak and high school understanding of orbital motion or something. And suddenly they're having their ass handed to them by some random stranger who's telling them off at the end.
Some kind of, let's say, camaraderie in it. People don't really get maybe that in their real lives, so they can go online and, you know, let's say, have a community that kind of supports what they're doing. So
I like it when people of that inclination come to Flat Earth with the idea that they're going to take that route, deal with idiots. Not the case when they come up against us, which I find quite amusing when it happens. You know, their automatic assumption is this is going to be a walk in the park. These people are dumb. And they've come to, you know, flex their narcissistic endeavours on dumbos. Like
these globers don't know who they're screwing with.
Like, obviously, you know, we definitely have different viewpoints when it comes to the shape of the Earth, but I feel like I can, let's say, have a better understanding. I mean, I'll call myself a glober.
Why?
I feel like it's pretty clear in that there is a lot of science defending the viewpoint that the Earth is a globe. Science.
Science?
An expert, you know.
What is science?
What is science? Is this relevant to the debate, or...?
So this isn't going to go well if you say, why am I a glober? I go, because of the science. And I go, what science? And you go, is this relevant? This isn't going to go well, is it? Yeah? Are you already defeated? Do you want to sit down and just...
An idea of science. I think we both know, and I feel like it's just kind of going
first time. You said your answer the first time was that we could both probably define it. I absolutely, without question, 100% know what science is and can define it. Let's just get that absolutely clear. I didn't use it as a standard to claim Earth is flat. You did to claim it's a ball in your belief, which I mocked in a laughing tone when I was like, why? You said science. Now we're at the nitty-gritty where clearly, given it's been twice that you've told me perhaps we could both do this, no, you could do it and aren't. So I'm going to just make a bold statement. You don't know what science is. You've appealed to it and you don't know what it is. Predictions. What's that officially called if you were doing science? What's its title? You can say, I don't know, and we could move on quickly because I do.
Okay, I don't know. Enlighten me.
All right. It's called a hypothesis. Ever heard that term before?
A hypothesis.
Yeah, aka scientific,
I've heard of
aka the guy leading you knows and you don't. You could shut up after I start telling you things that you don't know.
You have to be a dickhead about it. Like, I'm trying to...
You don't need to attack me personally, Mr. Ignorant. You can just shut up while I educate you about... Can you just immediately... Can this guy just immediately concede defeat? He's lost. If you'd have known what science is, you could be leading this conversation. Instead, you're ignorant. I had to educate you, prolonging this discussion about how Earth is not proven to be a sphere by science. It's a category error. Now, you, who still absolutely without question will not know what science is and haven't been given an opportunity to educate you, you called me a dick. Meanwhile, you're still talking. You're still talking while I try and explain that your standard of evidence when you said you got science was a category error. You're still yammering through the top of me, so I've got to mute my Discord line so my audience can hear the conclusion. To say you've got science for the nature of the measurement of a plane, an aspect of the world, is not a cause and effect question. It's a category error.
That's the perfect example of why we asked that question. It's sort of like a trap question, right? Is there any scientific evidence for the globe? And all I have to do is say it falls outside of the scientific method, but they still don't get it.
Well, I never got to that stage with him. He wouldn't tolerate it, right? Because I'm obviously taking a demeaning tone when I'm demeaning his ignorance. That's how it is. But he doesn't like it, so he wants to brace against it and call me a dick.
Very strict with their rules. They have been for a long time. Ever since 2016, I would say, is when YouTube started to really crack down, because there used to be what a lot of people would do is like commentary channels, which I would consider which I would consider you. You're kind of a commentary channel, basically. Not commentary on the level of you comment on other people, but you comment on your current topic, right?
Yeah.
So they took a real nail to the sledge to that.
Or like a debate
Because what we're debate channel, which is kind of a commentary channel. But what would happen is 6-7 years ago, a lot of these commentary channels would send like a lot of hate towards other channels, and some of these channels like small kids, like 10, 12-year-old kids, or people that had like autism or some type of disability. Leafy and all that were like really bad for it, so they cracked down on them and made a lot of rules to decrease that, but it's also just kind of reverberate onto everyone else. I understand why they did it, because I don't think that our YouTube should be a platform that is helping and contributing to cyberbullying online, but sometimes I feel like they do take it a little bit too seriously.
It's taken seriously when it's given attention by the masses. So in the case of Leafy, he was incredibly popular doing that. If it had just been
but a lot of the
obscure YouTuber doing it.
Well, Leafy was, making money basically kind of off the, how could I say, the suffering of some people that might have not deserved it. Like, he sent a lot of hate towards this guy that had intellectual disability, autism, I believe, because he was simply trying to be a nice guy and that he made sure someone didn't drop their groceries when not leaving the store. And the guy got cyberbullied like insanely
I'm not
bad.
defending Leafy, by the way.
Yeah, I'm just saying Leafy. I wouldn't defend Leafy. Leafy's definitely one of the worst contributors towards it, and he's one of the reasons why.
Yeah, but he as an individual is a reflection of the popularity he garnered as a result of the masses' enjoyment of that type of thing. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, and you're right. Yeah. YouTube have to do something about that. It is a reflection on society, though.
Yeah, yes, I know. Some people find enjoyment in it. Some people find, how do I say, some type of pleasure in it. Some people find, let's say, some kind of, camaraderie in it. People don't really get maybe that in their real lives, so they can go online and, let's say, have a community that kind of supports what they're doing. So some people feel, it's kind of like reverberating your personal, let's say, your hardship onto others.
Yeah, projection.
Which kind of,
Yeah, it's called projection.
Yeah, projection. Yeah, projection. That's the word. Yeah, projection onto others. So that would turn, let's say, whatever was going on in real lives to other people. Like another person that was definitely definitely had the masses going after him was a person named Misha. Misha was a kid who made a couple songs, pretty bad ones, but he was definitely one of the ones who took it very well. He was able to use that clout and build himself upon that.
Fair enough. I like it when people of that inclination come to Flat Earth with the idea that they're going to take that route, deal with idiots. And don't get me wrong, in a lot of instances, they might be delighted with the outcome when they're faced with some numpty Flat Earther. Not the case when they come up against us, which I find quite amusing when it happens. Their automatic assumption is this is going to be a walk in the park. These people are dumb. And they've come to, flex their narcissistic endeavours on dumbos, like we're discussing with Leafy and others. So when they're suddenly faced with people who know a lot more about their own stupid belief than they do, they're often quite shocked.
But here, what's the best way to say this? People that have believed a certain viewpoint for so long definitely know the best ways to defend their viewpoints, even if it's totally bonkers. Like, some people have come to believe their own viewpoints, let's say with ethno-nationalism, and they have the right words to defend it and make it actually sound smart, but it's still bonkers.
That's how it is with heliocentrism. A lot of the stuff that people just quote because it's part of the parcel of the Western world viewpoint doesn't make it sane or in any way makes sense, but people will parrot it out as though it's perfectly reasonable. And because there's very few people on the outside looking in going, wow, that sounds crazy, people don't even realise the crazy nonsense that they parrot when it comes to the Western world religion of heliocentrism. They just parrot it out and, that's perfectly reasonable.
Yeah, these globers don't know who they're screwing with.
No, we are. We're a surprise because we are just flat earthers like anybody else. It's not like any of us are really well known. So, today it could, people, this server's interesting. They huddle their way into the flat earth server and go, you guys are all idiots, right? Because that's what they're hoping to achieve, embarrass them with their weak and high school understanding of orbital motion or something, and suddenly they're having their ass handed to them by some random stranger who's telling them off at the end.
Like, obviously, we definitely have different viewpoints when it comes to the shape of the Earth, but I feel like I can, let's say, have a better understanding of how the debate sometimes will go and sometimes where it goes towards, and maybe some of the words to say. But I'm more of just a weekend debate. I just come in here for fun, not as a professional, not as an expert, but as someone who can defend their viewpoints.
What viewpoints that?
Viewpoints that are, my viewpoints, and that can sometimes enjoy the, let's say, the debate. Some type of challenge which tests my, my critical thinking skills, which I think is honestly helpful and will help me in my future life. So I come in here.
But in this room, what's your side of the fence?
I mean, I'll call myself a glober.
Why?
I'll call myself a glober. I feel like it's pretty clear in that there are a lot of signs defending the viewpoint that the Earth is a globe and isn't flat.
There's a lot of what?
Hmm?
There's a lot of, and then I didn't quite hear what you said.
Science.
Science.
An expert. Expert. What's the best way to say it?
Consensus. Expert consensus.
Maybe expert consensus and data that towards the Earth being a globe and not being flat.
Okay, well, let's focus on the former. What is science?
What is science? Is this relevant to the debate, or
well, given that you said that you leaned you could immediately throw the question back to me and then start talking through my response, but I will respond to what you've just thrown back at me. Is it relevant? You claimed it, so this isn't going to go well if that which you could be quiet while I respond to you. You immediately threw back at me what I put to you based on what you said. So this isn't going to go well if you say, why am I a glober? I go, because of the science. And I go, what science? And you go, is this relevant? This isn't going to go well, is it? Yeah? Are you already defeated? Do you want to sit down and just declare defeat because you don't know how to debate?
No.
Were you just on your high horse pretending to be a great debater?
Wait, I'm not. I'm not just saying to be a great debater. I'm just a weekend debater who comes in here for fun. That's it. I didn't make a claim of a great debater. Did I not say that 5 minutes ago? Do you not remember?
Okay. I don't debate.
I am simply...
Well, okay, fine. I've listened. Okay, weekend debater.
Okay,
my bad.
Let me respond. I am simply putting the question that in the context of this discussion, I said, is it relevant? Because I think we both know the the terminology and what science is as let's say a field or as like
that's fascinating. Can you define it?
An idea of science. I think we both know, and I feel like it's just kind of going
first time. You said your answer the first time was that we could both probably define it. I absolutely, without question, 100% know what science is and can define it. Let's just get that absolutely clear. I didn't use it as a standard to claim Earth is flat. You did to claim it's a ball in your belief, which I mocked in a laughing tone when I was like, why? You said science. Now we're at the nitty-gritty where clearly, given it's been twice that you've told me perhaps we could both do this, no, you could do it and aren't. So I'm going to just make a bold statement. You don't know what science is. You've appealed to it and you don't know what it is.
Okay, well, science, I'll give you the answer then if you want the actual terminology.
I've asked you 3 times.
Science. Yeah, well, I'm answering now, 3rd time's a charm, I guess. Is a rigorous and systematic endeavor that builds and organizes knowledge in the form of testable explanations and predictions about the world.
Okay, what's a prediction in this context?
Prediction. A prediction is a thought, a belief that is.
No, that's wrong. That's incorrect. So you don't know what it means. You've just read something off a definition, but you don't really know what it means. The prediction's got a specific title in science. You just don't know what it is, right?
Well, then,
you don't need to yammer through me. I haven't finished. I'm asking you and addressing that which you clearly don't know and have just read off something you've Google searched, having bought enough time to do so. That's clear. We know the drill. Now I'm asking you about that bit you've just read off Google. Yeah. Okay. Predictions. What's that officially called if you were doing science? What's its title? You can say, I don't know, and we could move on quickly, because I do.
Okay, I don't know. Enlighten me.
All right. It's called a hypothesis. Ever heard that term before?
A hypothesis?
Yeah. AKA scientific.
I've heard of
AKA the guy leading you knows and you don't. You could shut up after I start telling you things that you don't know. Do you understand that? Shut up.
You have to be a dickhead about it. Like, I'm trying to.
You don't need to attack me personally, Mr. Ignorant. You can just shut up while I educate you about. Can you just immediately? Can this guy just immediately concede defeat? He's lost. He's told me he doesn't know. He didn't know, past tense, till I educated him. And I'm trying to educate him with him yammering to the top of me. And what, objecting about me being a dick? No, you're just... Do I need to put on a big smile while I educate the ignorant? Okay, let's do that. Oh, you okay there, son? Let me just enlighten you with the brightest of tone I can muster. Your ignorance about science, having read it off Wiki, can be expanded on by me, a flat earther, who absolutely without question knows that which you don't. Now, don't have to be a dick about it. I could just tell you if you shut your mouth. But obviously that's proving difficult because I'm educating you, the globe believer, as a flat earth understander, what science is and you have appealed to. Now, my tone's not going to keep up that pleasant demeanour for long because I'm educating the ignorant. As an enlightened flat earther in this topic, you, the weekend debater, wants me to not be a dick when I'm dealing with the ignorant weekend debater who doesn't know anything about science. No, mate, you could just shut up and listen. I could have told you what a scientific prediction, aka hypothesis, actually means, because it's got relevance in this subject about the study of physical and natural worlds. That's us, that's physics, that's science, that's what we're talking about. The nature of the world. Absolutely without question relevant. You didn't even know if it was and questioned me about how relevant it might be. It's entirely pertinent to the subject. Physics is the study of the physical and natural world. Very much what's on the debate table here today. You, Mr. Weekend Ignorant Debater, haven't got the slightest clue about what you're babbling about when you express your belief based on science. You don't even know what the definition is. You have to look it up. We all clear? Shocking how the example of some ignorant guy who thinks he can come and flex his intellectual muscles here on a flat earth debate server suddenly finds he's being educated based on his ignorance by that flat earther telling him off at the end for his ignorance because he insulted me and called me a dick and then started yammering through me after I had to take a tone with him because of his insolence and petulance. No, mate, I'm not dick. I'm just greater educated in this subject than you. You could just tolerate that and admit your ignorance with a little bit of humility. Instead, you chose to call me a dick. I'm not a dick, I just know what science is, son.
Okay, well, here, let me ask you. My claim
no, you don't get to ask me anything, son. Yeah, no, I already asked you what... Mate, you're not leading the conversation, you lost. You sit down in ignorance now, and I lead the conversation, not you. You understand that? You have to earn your little victory to lead the conversation next. Yeah? If you'd have known what science is, you could be leading this conversation. Instead, you're ignorant. I had to educate you, prolonging this discussion about how Earth is not proven to be a sphere by science. It's a category error. Now, you, who still absolutely without question will not know what science is and haven't been given an opportunity to educate you, you called me a dick. Meanwhile, you're still talking. You're still talking while I try and explain that your standard of evidence when you said you got science was a category error. You're still yammering to the top of me, so I've got to mute my Discord line so my audience can hear the conclusion. To say you've got science for the nature of the measurement of a plane, an aspect of the world, is not a cause and effect question. It's a category error. You, being ignorant of science, laid down a standard that's cause and effect related for the nature of a plane that we'll measure. No, it's a category error to declare science in this subject. You didn't understand that. That's why you appealed to science, because you don't know what it is. Now I have concluded, after winning and having you yammer through me, call me a dick, generally be belligerent, intolerant of being educated, you're fairly standard, I think I'm really smart globe believer, being absolutely torn a strip off by me, a flat earther who knows better. Okay, son? Now, I don't expect any response. I haven't asked you anything. What I will tell you, given your ear as a weekend globe-believing muppet who's got the outright outrage to call me a dick. What bloody outrage. No, thank you. I don't need to deal with dicks and educate them in what science is, having learnt it myself. Yeah, you go away with your globe belief after the end of this discussion and me tearing a strip off you just concluded. You don't launch into questions of me. First, demonstrate you've got a brain in your head and you know some of the subjects here. Then we might listen to a question from you. You with your yammering on about what's what in YouTube, only to be demonstrated as totally ignorant of the actual forum you're in when it comes to your claims and category errors with science for proof of a globe. What kind of numpty are you? Geometric shapes proven with cause and effect reasoning? No, son, you're just stupid. Yeah, now I've tore a strip off you. It's not inviting a question from you. Is that clear?
Hey, Pommy. Hey. Pommy.
You can call me Mr. Oakley. Like your teacher.
No, what the hell? What did this guy do? What did this guy do?
Call me a dick when I was trying to educate him on what a scientific prediction, otherwise known as hypothesis, was, after he defined it, having looked it up, having been asked three times the same question, and declared that I might know, and together, universally, we would know what this means, while he types it into Google, and then calls me a dick because he can't define the words he's just read off the page. Like prediction. That doesn't mean I'm a dick. It doesn't mean I'm a dick, and it doesn't mean I'm a dick now while I have to raise my voice because you're talking over me. It doesn't make me a dick, it makes me intolerable of other dicks like you, who can't pay attention to what's just happened. Maybe listen and you'd understand my frustration, having just been called a dick for defining what scientific prediction is, or attempting to, as someone started insulting me. Of course I'm going to be annoyed.
Rage with you. Would you still be angry at me?
What, for not paying attention and not knowing what's going on?
No, I actually agree with everything you just said. Like, I don't know what that guy said, but he sounds like he's off his head. He doesn't sound like he's reading the book that everyone else should be reading. He's reading some kind of other book.
That's the perfect example of why we ask that question. It's sort of like a trap question, right? Is there any scientific evidence for the globe? And all I have to do is say it falls outside of the scientific method, but they still don't get it.
Well, I never got to that stage with him. He wouldn't tolerate it, right? Because I'm obviously taking a demeaning tone when I'm demeaning his ignorance. That's how it is. But he doesn't like it, so he wants to brace against it and call me a dick and focus on my tone and attitude towards him as an individual I've never met and couldn't give a crap about. No, I've got an audience. I'm recording this so I can publish it later to an audience so they can hear the useful nature of the claim made inappropriately by my opponent of science. Now, I could take him by the hand, ignorant that he is, and explain what a cause and effect reasoning prediction, otherwise known as a hypothesis, is useful for, with an example. Didn't get there. No. I don't know what it is. I took 3 attempts too because I don't want to look stupid by saying I don't know. So I'll keep you all strung along for a few more sentences. Well, obviously both of us know what science is. Definition of science. Typed into Google. It's like, you don't think we know what's going on? We've been doing it for 10 years. But this dick thinks he can just stroll in at the weekend and show everyone how smart he is. No, you're not smart. No, I'm exposing how unbelievably stupid you are and ignorant of the subject you claimed you would appeal to for your faith in a globe. People don't like that. No, I am smart. No, you're not. Shut up and listen to what a hypothesis is, you stupid idiot. You don't like my tone? Well, then don't be dumb. And come here thinking you're smart and telling everyone about how YouTube works with Leafy, demonstrating your level. Yeah? You're just a thicko. Another globe-believing thicko, pretending to be smart. Yeah, we've seen it all before. You're not special. So shut up if you want to learn what science actually is. Oh, you don't? You want to tell me I'm a dick? Well, then you're going to get my heckles up right quick and get shouted at. So when next man asks why you're annoyed, yeah, well, because me, in my learned position of knowing what science is, was about to endeavour to tell a total stranger who's used the word incorrectly what it actually means. I'm getting called a dick.
Yeah, that checks out. That's what they usually do.
Claim science so fast, and then they don't even know what it is. Like, do they realize they don't know what it is when they say it? I don't know.
No, it's a power word. That word has power, and they know it.
Well, they don't know it. The guy saying it didn't know it. He's been duped with it. He's just regurgitating it like he did after his Google search. He doesn't understand any of the words he's parroting off the text black and white on his screen. And he didn't know what science was when he parroted it as a proof of globe. When I try and tell him it's a category error, he's not going to listen to it. He's certainly not going to listen to me expand on why it's a category error, is he? No, because he's made to feel dumb. So therefore, bad Nathan, dick. Okay, that's the level of your intellect, right? Absolutely zero humility then. You just want everyone around you in the server to go, oh, isn't this guy smart? Yeah, no, you were exposed within about 4 minutes of being in discussion with a flat earther. Isn't that shocking?
Well, that's what the television does. Sorry, John, go ahead.
The funny thing is what they believe is science still appeals to a flat plane.
Yes.
Even even after they're in a category error, they still have to utilize the earth as flat.
How so?
For example, the curve calculator that they would say was science, scientific evidence of curvature of the level, requires level to be a horizontal flat plane. That means surface level or sea level must be a horizontal flat plane.
Oh dear.